All right, let's talk about something that hits close to home for anyone in the crypto world. We're going to tackle a massive, massive challenge. How do you tell the difference between a project that's truly going to change the game and one that's just a beautiful lie? It's everything, right? You know this feeling, that pit in your stomach. You find a project, the white paper is incredible, it promises the moon, and then poof, it vanishes, along with everyone's money. That's the fear that haunts the space, the huge, painful gap between an amazing promise and a devastating reality. So, the million-dollar question is, how do you actually tell them apart? How do you spot the red flags waving in your face before it's way, way too late? In a market moving this fast, how do you separate the real builders from the fakers? Okay, let's dive in. First things first, we've got to understand the world we're playing in. Think of the modern crypto landscape less like a clear path and more like a high-stakes gamble, a minefield just packed with incredible opportunities and, well, really sophisticated traps. Yeah, the game has totally changed. We're not just talking about obvious scams anymore. The deceptions have gotten so much smarter. We're talking about things like soft drugs, where a project just kind of fades into nothing, or perpetual betas, where they promise amazing features that are always just around the corner but never actually arrive. And look, this isn't just some theory. It's a pattern we've seen again and again. You get this huge wave of super ambitious projects launching, and just a few months later, oops, they miss all their targets. At the same time, you see these massive exploits in DeFi, that's decentralized finance, that drain millions because of simple, preventable flaws in the code. It's this cycle of hype and heartbreak. Okay, so you might be thinking, why can't I just do my own research like the good old days? Well, let's get into why the traditional ways of checking out a project are pretty much broken now. I mean, just look at the mismatch here. On one side, you have us doing manual research. It's slow, we all have our own biases, and frankly, it's easy to get fooled. And what are we up against? A literal flood of new projects every single day, these sneaky soft rugs, and growing regulatory heat. Trying to do it all by yourself is like trying to bail out the ocean with a thimble. It's just not going to work. But here's the cool part. What if you had a superpower? What if you had a tool that could instantly see through all that noise, that could process everything without getting distracted by the hype? Well, this is where AI steps in and becomes your brand new, indispensable ally. And we are talking about a massive leap forward here. AI verification is not just a simple checklist. It's a deep, data-driven dive into a project's real health, its code, its community, its team, to find all the hidden risks and weird inconsistencies that a person would almost certainly miss. So, how does this actually work? How does the magic happen? How does an AI take this mountain of chaotic data and turn it into a clear signal for you? Let's pop the hood and see how it uncovers the truth. You can really boil it down to 4 key moves. First, it scrutinizes the project's blueprint. Then, it reads the room to gauge the real vibe. After that, it verifies the builders to see if they're legit. And finally, it puts it all together to predict what might go wrong. So first up, the AI puts on its auditor hat. It's like the world's fastest, most detail-obsessed auditor you've ever seen. It scans white papers for things that just don't add up. But more importantly, it audits the actual smart contract code, looking for those nasty vulnerabilities like re-entry attacks, the exact kind of stuff that caused those huge DeFi meltdowns. Okay, next, the AI becomes a social detective. It dives into the chatter on Telegram, Discord, social media, you name it. And the crucial part is, it can tell the difference between a community that's genuinely excited and a complete fake-out full of bots and paid promoters running a shilling campaign. And then it plays private investigator on the dev team. Are they anonymous? AI can dig through public data to figure out who they are. Are they actually building anything? It watches their GitHub, checking to see if real quality code is being written and if it actually matches what they promised on their roadmap. It separates the talkers from the builders. But here's where it all comes together, and this is seriously powerful. The AI takes all these different pieces, the code, the community vibe, the team's activity, and merges them into one single, clear picture. It creates what's called a predictive risk score. This isn't just a simple thumbs up or thumbs down. It's a deep analysis of dozens of factors that calculates the real probability that a project is going to fail or run into serious trouble. You can think of it like an early warning system for your portfolio. And this is what that looks like in action. It's basically a health dashboard for the project. It flags specific red flags for you, like way too many tokens being held by just one wallet, or if the developers suddenly stop writing code on GitHub. Each one is a clear, unmissable warning sign. All right, so knowing all this is great, but insight without action, it's totally useless. Now it's time to actually put this power to work. Look, the era of just relying on gut feelings, on hype, on pure hope, it's over. Or at least it should be for any smart investor. The new standard, the new motto, is simple. Don't guess, verify. And if you only take one single thing away from this, let it be this. You now have the power to run a deep, AI-powered risk scan on a project before you put a single penny into it. This one simple step changes absolutely everything. So if you're serious about protecting your money and actually finding the real gems out there, the next step is pretty obvious. You can get an instant AI risk report on any project you're looking at. Just head over to aicryptorisk.com and paste in the contract address. It is that easy.
So, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. In a market that is absolutely drowning in promises, what is your proof? Thanks for tuning in for this one.